All right, guys, I'm going to try this one more time. This has been a very, very interesting time. I'm just trying to do just a little mini mobile stream here, but I just wanted to come in just for a few minutes and just check in with you guys. Of course, there's all types of reports. Of course, this has been a bit of a whirlwind of a week because the Supreme Court has basically, they're letting people know where the rubber meets the road. And some even say, you know, is this a sign that we're on the brink of something else right now? It looks like I'm seeing a couple reports that 24 governors have sent or are sending that are basically standing in solidarity with Texas on this issue concerning the border. Guys, I'm just saying there's so many things going on. And, I'm not going to stand here and say that I'm buying into the system of reds and blues. I know the two together make purple. I think it's a very fundamental lesson that you learn in grade school, that red and blue make purple. But my issue was, I think there's a shout out to Mr. Pearson. I think there's an issue of dualism amongst most of these politicians. They're all playing both sides. And from the reports I'm hearing about, basically, the Border Patrol being able to, to remove wire or whatnot. I think is it going out on a limb to say that is there a potential civil war on the brink here? I mean, I'm here for you guys. Let me know what you think. Are we on the brink of a civil war? Because Texas and their governor, they're standing their ground. They're getting there's a lot of people coming out, a lot of people, I guess, to me, I guess this is that hopium that the Republicans needed. I'm just not sure. I think a lot of people, a lot of things are going to tell us the story when it comes down to these illegals. Some people call them migrants, some people call them immigrants, whatever color. It's all misrepresentation, okay? It's all bias. It's all laced with bias. It's all laced with skew. It's misrepresentation. But my question to the people that, for those that are informed or that have just been watching, whether you're watching politics, whether you're watching global politics, whether you're watching domestic politics, just look at the last 3.5, 4 years. I mean, who's actually leaning on the Supreme Court? I mean, really? I have not had a lot of stock in them. Even with the inclusion of that Amy Coney Barrett, even with that, I said only time will tell. Hi, Anarchy Television. How are you? But a lot of people, a lot of retired service members are happy to see their state standing their ground. I hope that I hope that it doesn't, that it won't be a nothing burger, and then they'll end up being, that it'll go the way of this administration, because they have no intentions of closing that border. They have no intentions. With all the talk about immigration laws and KJP, Karine Jean-Pierre, getting up there every week telling unnecessary lies about this president has been clear. On the first day in office, he issued a comprehensive immigration plan, and none of it including closing the border. He never intended to close the border. Now that he never said. Now that's not a defense for Biden. I'm just trying to tell you, look at what he didn't say. You don't have to imagine what he said, But you should pay attention to what he didn't say. No. Look at Gavin Newsom. Gavin Newsom says there will be one house, not a house not a house for those that this and that. He said there will be one house for California when it came down to illegals, and that's why their healthcare system is pressed, and it's going to be continuing. Eventually, they're going to press every system will be pressed. Every institution, everything is pressed. I mean, the idea of schools being closed in New York City right now to house them. Can you imagine? I mean, I'm just telling you, there's crisis. There's one thing about this left-right paradigm. Crisis after crisis, the crisis are having crisis, and their crisis are having crisis, and their crisis are having crisis. That's all you're going to see. I mean, how many days are we into 2024? How many days? We're whopping 25 days into 2024. And all you see is a head-on collision. Head-on collision. That's all you see. I could care less about the Hollywoods exposés and I could care less about those things. But what I'm saying is that, like I said the other night, I do believe the situation is already running hot. People are going to be fighting in the streets before the summer. People are going to be fighting in the streets before the summer. If you look at, because you're talking about the kingdom of elites and those that live in the glass towers in New York, they've already, during the holiday season, I'm hearing reports from police officers in New York City saying how the illegals versus during the turkey handouts, the turkey trots, and the Thanksgiving dinners and the Christmas dinner, at how these people were at each other, damn near at each other's throats then. In fact, there is a story that I'm actually looking for to follow up on regarding something happening with one of the New York police officers. So the minute, I'm telling you, the rubber's going to meet the road, and you're going to see, if you haven't seen it, you're going to see the deception. You're going to see the mask. The mask has fallen off. That we're allowed to be infiltrated, or we're allowed to be run over by people from foreign lands. Once they start, attacking allegedly the LEOs and the other institutions that we have, then what else? What do we have left? Oh, a lot of people know what that is. A lot of people know what that is. Some people, they've been ready. I'm just telling you. I told you there's a police officer that I am following out of New York who talked specifically about the holidays, about illegals literally jumping in line in front of the New York State residents that probably go to these annual turkey, the annual turkey pass outs every year, the annual turkey handout, and then they might have a set of an illegal jump right in front of them and say, hey, don't use that language barrier BS with me. Get to the back of this line. So you're already dealing with the have and have-nots in New York. You've already got crime. You already have homelessness. So you compound that with mounds and mounds of people coming in, and I'm also hearing that they're going door to door. There's reports in social media videos of them going door to door asking for, not only are they asking for food, they're asking for money now. And what do you think? If you come in, how is it that anybody could fathom that people that break the law in order to get into a place would somehow magically become assimilating and law-abiding citizens, that they would respect any rules of engagement around here? How? I'm just saying. I'm telling you guys, the delusions are not going to get it done. It's not going to get it done. Let me read a couple of comments. Anarchy Television's here. Thank you so much for coming in. John Roberts is here. This is chaos. It is complete chaos. Complete. The weather's been atrocious. You've got floods, San Diego. You've got flooding. You've got, flooding, of biblical proportions. You've got rains in the southeast. Where for my people out there that know, that can, where's the verse? Do we know what season we are in? What season are we in? We go from maybe a high of 17 degrees to 60s, 70s in less than 7 days. Some people think, some people have got some ideas. Whether they believe it's geoengineering or whether they believe it's actually, whether they believe it's judgment. There's all kinds of thoughts out there, and I'm not going to shoot down any of them. I respect all opinions. I respect those who have great arguments. It's easier to deal with an argument than it is just a bunch of opinions or a bunch of emotions. But let's see, we have a couple comments here. So just let me know, what do you guys think? Are they standing their ground over there? What is the end game? What is the end game? And then what I don't like is okay, I saw an interview with Abbott. I saw an interview with Abbott talking about how the Democrats out of New York are saying that how the mayor of New York, Adams, has said, oh, these hundreds of thousands of people are going to ruin New York. And he was like, well, how do you think millions of them are going to ruin Texas? But see, to me, my issue is the answer also was not. The answer also was not to even why disseminate these people further into the corridors of the country. I thought that was just as dangerous. That's just as dangerous as sending them up the river or whatever. Send them down the chili chute, send them up the river. You're still furthering the agenda, which is going to overthrow, which is going to send us all, it's just not going to be. I've seen an interview the same interview with the Turkey and all that stuff going on. There's not going to be enough resources to import. We're turning into a third world country. We import, in order to become the third world, you got to import it, right? You got to import it. But these people that are coming here, are they taking any kind of a stand? They come into here with the entitled, they're a protected class of people. And I don't know. I'm hearing about people that people always want to say, well, they're always doing the jobs that we don't want to do. Well, some people also know some illegals that they've been here for 30 years, and they've done very little assimilation. Very little. So you could argue it a couple of ways. You got a couple of arguments that are going to come out of that. So I don't know. I just don't think voting is not going to get it done. That's what I will argue that. I don't think voting is going to get it done. Because you can't convince me that even if the pendulum swings the other way, that TRUMP is actually going to spend the same amount of money that's been wasted to bring people that got people in here, to send them back. I just don't. I can't see it. And what is it? Obrador, the Mexican president, is put a big price tag on. He's basically he wants billions of dollars to keep them in Mexico. And I always thought that was a little bit, what was given up the first time? What was it? What was given up the last time for them to be so easily, for them to just be able to just pick up where they left off, or worse? I'm just saying, just curious. What do you guys think? So we have Anarchy. He says people need to stop trying to fix or repair the problem. I think people need to go after what caused the problem in the first place. Gotcha. Thank you, Anarchy. John Roberts says the truth will only be revealed by the one who says, I am the truth. Wear God's armor. There you go. So I'm just saying, I'm just watching these headlines, and I've seen a lot of conservative types coming out, people that haven't been on in months. Now, I tell you, that's one thing about it. Now that might be that might be the trend of YouTube. They can get their people back by with these cycles. Maybe social media will season and cycle like many of these other things. But I just want to know what you guys thought. Does this look like we're on the brink of a civil war? I'm not sure, because to me, if we're on the brink of a civil war, then that would mean that there's more authenticity in this whole system than I currently believe that I can currently see. So I'm not sure. Don't get your hopes up. Like, you might keep that popcorn ready, keep that Jiffy Pop rolling, but you might not. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Don't know how far things are going to go. I can't be sure about that. So thank you guys. I really appreciate it. And it's going to be one to watch. So, of course, as time goes on, I'm going to continue to watch this story, maybe even do some coverage on it. I'd imagine some things over the weekend, may some other things may be revealed. There may be some other developments by the weekend, but definitely 2024 is running hot. That's not me being prophetic. I think it's just look at it. In November, you better buckle up. Shout out to the Lockhart perspective. You better buckle up, buckle in tight. Double bolt, button up. Get ready. All right, guys. So let me know what you think. All right, guys. Take care. And this is Black Spring with Autumn. Saying out here for now.